Hey, there's John Kovich of World Fly. I just got back from a great trip to Cuba. I'm a little bit exhausted, a little time change, lots of travel, but boy, we had just another great trip. This time to Gardens of the Queen, which is one of the most famous fishing areas in Cuba. This is an archipelago of islands located off Cuba's south central coast, and it's about 50 miles off the mainland. And there the outfitter has several boats that they'll put anglers and divers on, and you're each in your own zone. And this is one of the great things about Cuba you've heard me talk about before, probably, in that whatever zone you're in, whatever area you're in, it's only you that's fishing there and nobody else competes with you, which is just fantastic. So we had a very small group, as I said. There were just 8 anglers that were on the boat, and then there was a group of 3 divers. And you know, I gotta say, it was really nice. Sometimes when you're on one of these bigger boats and there's a bunch of divers and a bunch of anglers, you sort of separate and don't really mix with each other too much. Here, because we were a small group, everybody reached out to each other, and we had a fantastic time. There was a couple from Germany diving, a gentleman from China that was there as well. We had an international group of anglers. There were 4 of us from the U.S., 5 of us from the U.S., 2 from Denmark and 1 from Canada. And so we just had a great group, and I can't say enough about how much we enjoy these boat trips. The staff aboard these boats are just fantastic, and you get really well taken care of. And so anyway, we plan on going again. This is our report for the week at Gardens of the Queen. Finally just kind of got to our spot. We're going to start the day looking for permit. It's really early in the morning. We've got the time change here. So we've gone on daylight savings. So started early. Sun's a little bit low, but they've got some good chances here really recently. In fact, landed a 28-pound permit here quite recently. So here we go. Okay, we just are breaking for lunch. We just ate our lunch, and we're kind of in the mangroves here, and I'm talking to Yankiel, who's one of my buddies and favorite guides down here. I was just saying he's kind of has the perfect temperament, I think, for a guide, where he's really enthusiastic but calm at the same time, so he doesn't make you crazy, especially when you're out hunting for permit. So I think you've been doing this a long time. How many years have you guided?
16 years.
16?
16.
And you're a young guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look, you're young and strong, and already 16 years. Yeah. And your favorite fish to fish for?
Oh, permit.
Permit?
Yeah, sure. And my favorite fish is permit.
That's
Anytime.
all the guides say.
Sometimes we go for fishing tarpon. It's much better.
Yeah.
Sometimes, but it's my favorite is permit. It's
Yeah.
nice.
And the biggest permit that you're
35.
35, only 35.
Only 35. That's a very nice
permit. And then I always like to ask this of guides that have done this a long time, because they've always got stories. So what's the best, craziest, funniest story you've had with a client?
With the other people, catch maybe tarpon 60 pounds, jumping on the boat, broken any rods. The people is they crazy in the boat. It's very, very interesting.
So the tarpon jumped in the boat, and broke all the rods.
It's crazy, man.
Well, that kind of stuff happens. There's crazy stuff that happens out here on the flat. So we're going to go back to fishing. We had a great morning out here. We had lots of chances at permit. Didn't catch them, caught jacks that were mixed in with them, and they were so quick that they grabbed the fly immediately. We caught a few nice bonefish, and we're going to get back to it. We're at an outgoing tide here for the afternoon. Really a cool morning chasing permit. We had a lot of great chances. A little bit unlucky with jacks that were sneaking in and grabbing the fly. Now we've moved to some flats on the north side of the islands here. It's a great bonefish kind of an area, especially this time of the year. White sand. And it's also, we're at high tide. The tide is just turning and starting to go out. So fish are way back in here. So we're going to give it a shot.
fresh fish, just grab it today. Con this rice, the Cuban way to make our natural rice. Ropa vieja, dirty clothes.
Okay, Bruno.
Dirty clothes. Plantain, white rice. Eso es abondia, ¿cómo se llama? Frituri de shopping. Entonces, ajiaco cubano. Ajiaco is our national soup. Many vegetable. It's very important to get, like, for divers, you need that. So it's very good.
So, this is the morning of day 2. We got Patrick in the front of the boat. We're chasing some tarpon. We've already found some tarpon rolling right in front of us, as a matter of fact. He already hooked one in the mangroves here, but we'll chase him down, huh, Patrick? So we just saw some rolling fish right here in front of Patrick, where these 2 channels meet. Of course, the fish stop now, but we'll great job. Yeah. Excellent, fellas. Nice job, Patrick. Nice.
Oh, dangerous.
So we've been waiting this oceanside flat for the last half hour or so. It's so beautiful here. This is some of my favorite stuff to do in Cuba in this particular destination in Gardens of the Queen. These north side beaches they're pretty spectacular to say the least. And this time of year in particular, there are big bonefish here. A lot of fish that are 4 to 6 pounds, 4 to 7 pounds. I hooked 2, landed 1. The other one I broke off, but actually broke part of my fly line off, and I realized what happened after I landed the second fish. It had gone around all these little, what look like dark things on the bottom, or dark parts of the bottom, but they're actually broken up bits of mangrove, and they've got little branches sticking out from them. They're almost petrified, and the fish had gone through all that. I kind of had to run after it, take my drag off, and get the line loose from each one of those before I finally got the fish actually back tight. So landed it, and it was a nice cool 5-pound fish for Stokes. It's great. So, what a cool spot. That's a big bonefish. Stay right there. Pet fish, Patrick. There we go. Good work, man. Nice. So we just finished up our second full day here at Gardens of the Queen. Just back in after a great day. It's been pretty warm, pretty sunny, so I'm glad to be back and get out of it a little bit and have a nice drink. So we had a really interesting day. I was fishing with Patrick, who's from Canada and who's been to Cuba several times, and we were guided by a young guy named Chicho, who is only guiding, been guiding 3 years, but his dad is one of the famous guides here in the gardens, Keiko, who's been guiding, I think, 28 years. So it was really cool. We started out looking for tarpon back in some really cool backcountry channels, you know, with mangroves on the side, and a little bit deeper. Patrick immediately had a fish grab on the edge of the mangroves and a small school fish, and he kind of yanked it out of them, you know, first fish of the day. And then afterwards, I was up and we'd seen some fish rolling right in front of us, and then they disappeared, and so we just did some blind casting, and sure enough had 2 or 3 fish swipe at the fly, and finally one got stuck. And it was a great fight, lots of jumps, and landed it, and it was a beautiful fish. Later, Patrick got another one, really good one, nice 10, 11 pound fish. I hooked and broke one off that was crazy, fish that we were fishing in current with the tide kind of flushing in, and this fish came racing at the fly and grabbed the fly against the current as I set the hook, and we snapped it right off on 60 pound. And then Patrick hooked yet another fish late in the afternoon when we were on the south side of the islands. During the middle of the day, when the tide was high and turning to start going back out, we fished some beautiful beaches on the north side of the islands here. They're white sandy beaches, gorgeous. There we got out of the boat and waded for bonefish, and we were pretty successful there. I think we each hooked 3 or 4 fish and landed a couple that were at least 5 pounds. And it's beautiful, beautiful stuff. I just can't get enough of that, that kind of fishing. So anyway, we had a really good day. Glad to be back on the boat. Tired in a great way, and we'll report again more tomorrow.
Oh, somebody! Oh! Jack did the perfect fit. That's a good one though. Clear line. Oh, Jack. So we just doubled up on your ball. They're so strong, unbelievable. So Bob got another good one on. This one we landed. All of Bob's jack here is way into his backing, so we go start the motor, and we're trying to chase him down. Bobby's going to Miami is where he's going, I think. Oh, careful. That is a big jack.
potato in the Italian way. The soup is very good. ¿Cómo se llama la sopa? No te se me olvidó ya. It's a cream, very important.
So hey there, it's John. I kind of need to get caught up. We've had days 3 and 4 behind us now, and I've been a little bit lax in making some reports on how things are gone. We've had some changes in the weather. Some of it's been a little bit challenging, but overall, everybody's doing really great. Yesterday was day 3, and I fished with Bob, who's a really good client from Houston, Texas. Really super passionate guy. And we fished with one of the well-known guys here, Keiko, to the east, and we started out in this big bay where we saw some pelicans diving. And sure enough, we got in there and there was lots of bait around, and immediately we saw some tarpon slashing through them, and Bob hooked, well, he had one come at the fly and miss it. And then just after that, he hooked a really nice fish that took off and started jumping, and Bob was looking down at his feet because he was thinking he was standing on the line, and the fish jumped and he forgot to bow and lost that one. When I was up, Keiko spotted some jacks, and so I made a cast into a school of jacks and immediately hooked a pretty nice jack crevalle. And I was fighting it, and as I got close to the boat, there was a second fish with it, and Bob was able to make a cast in there and hook that second fish. So we had a really pretty eventful time in that bay. It was kind of fantastic. Later in the day, we kept on looking for tarpon. We found a channel that we were kind of cruising down, seeing what was going on, and sure enough, a pod of rolling fish showed up. They were really active, and we got shots at them. I hooked and landed one really quickly, and I think, Bob, you're here. Did you hook and land that fish in the channel? Great, so we each got a fish, which was fantastic. And oh, and yeah, I hooked a second. Yeah, I got a second one in there. So we hooked and landed 3 fish in that channel. What was so cool about it was, again, it was calm, and we could see those fish rolling, and we could take our time to position in front of them. It was great. And then we finished off the day in, I thought, just a great experience. We went onto a flat. It was kind of backcountry-ish, if you will, meaning mangroves everywhere. There were bonefish with their backs out of the water. It was hard, technical sort of fishing. The fish were all big, 4, 5, 6 pounds, and we'd hook them, and then they'd run through the mangroves, and we'd have to lighten our drags up and kind of follow them and weave our line through and eventually land them. So that was great fun. And then back to the boat for a nice night here with the gang. I've got a really nice crew of people that signed up for this trip with me, and then some other people that we didn't know that are, there's a couple other anglers or some divers, and they're all really nice, and so we're having a nice time together. Today was day 4. And I fished with Patrick, who's again a good client from Canada. He's been to Cuba, I think, 4 times. Passionate guy, just like a kid when he hooks up with a fish. So it was great being with him. And we were with Titi, who is the brother of Keiko, who we fished with yesterday. So there's 3 brothers that fish out here. And we had maybe kind of a similar day to yesterday, but we had a lot more weather. So it started out with quite a bit of wind. Clouds were there, moving, and so you'd have patches of dark and then patches of sun. And so we kind of fought that, but we started out in kind of these back channels that were beautiful. Water was really pushing in on an incoming tide with the wind behind it, so it was really moving, which was a little bit challenging for our guide TT. We hooked and landed a tarpon, a baby tarpon, in the mangroves immediately, and then Patrick had some great chances at some other fish there, and we kept doing that time after time, spot after spot, looking for tarpon. Sometimes we found them, sometimes we didn't, but we had a bunch of chances, and then we found this channel where from a distance TT said, "Hey, I see a tarpon feeding in there. There's anchovies." So sure enough, we went in. We could see all these anchovies pushed up against one bunch of mangroves. And after a little bit, Patrick hooked a big fish, and it jumped and took off. It jumped again. On the second jump, it came unbuttoned, but it was a fish that was 40 or 45 pounds. It was just really exciting. And then after lunch, we could see the weather was really on the horizon, a big dark patch of clouds. We did kind of similar to yesterday. We got back into bonefish flats that were soft flats. The guy pulled through them, all mangroves everywhere, and I think we caught 5 fish. We were 5 for 5 on those fish, and every fish was between 4 and 6 pounds. The biggest was 6, the smallest was 4, and then we had a bunch of them that were in between. It was just fabulous. And then we said, let's get the hell out of here, because we could hear the thunder in the distance. We could see everything moving in, and all the guides and all the boats did the same, so we all converged back here. We were totally soaked by the time we got into the boat, and the staff was here to greet us with warm towels fresh out of the dryer, which made a big difference, and a hot shower, and we're ready to go. Time for drinks and appetizers after day 4. That's all.
Good job, Bobby. He's a jumper.
So this is tarpon number 5 hooked in this, it's called a channel. Yeah, what was that? There was a guy throwing the anchor. But Bob's on his 3rd. We've not landed one, but boy, we've hooked some nice fish up to 60, 70 pounds. Or in that range. This one is not the monster, I don't think, right, Bob? Yeah, but we'll take it.
Left foot. Thank you.
This is really remote inside these keys. You can find a lot of bonefish back here, but it's pretty technical. We're spooking a lot more fish than we're hooking, but we're hooking some, so this is pretty insane stuff. Another mangrove. Oh no, that's a bad one. Time to go swimming, Bob.
Oh. Wow, you're amazing.
So here we are. After our day 5 in Gardens of the Queen, Cuba, boy, did we have a spectacular day, at least weather-wise. You know, we've been putting up with a couple of days of front kind of pushing in and having a little bit of wind. Yesterday, a bunch of rain late in the day. Today was epically beautiful. Couldn't have asked for a more gorgeous day. I fished today with my client Bob, who's from Houston, Texas, and he's been to Cuba several times before, and our guide was Yanquiel, who's one of my favorites. And we did a really long run to some outer islands where I fished before, and immediately Yanquiel spotted some rolling tarpon in a really big channel in between two of the islands. And it doesn't even look like a channel, but he said it was 10 meters deep. So we anchored up in there because they stopped rolling. We anchored up in there and started blind casting with a sink tip. And pretty soon we started hooking fish. In the end, we jumped 6 big tarpon. We only landed 2 of them. We had a couple of others that were close to the boat. Some just came off. Some, of course, came off on the jump right at the beginning. But it was spectacular. And those fish were all between 30 and 60 pounds, which is pretty unheard of this time of the year in Cuba. After that, we ventured inside one of the islands there, where there's a lot of backcountry fishing for baby tarpon and bonefish. And we had shots at some baby tarpon and then started finding the bonefish, and they were unbelievably plentiful. They were spooky because the water was completely flat there. But we hooked and landed several, and then it picked up, and somehow those fish just turned on, and they were so grabby, so hungry. They were chasing the fly. We had 2 or 3 that chased the fly with their mouth kind of half open, half above the surface, which I don't think I'd ever seen before. So we just had this amazing day and got back to the boat here and are having our cocktails. And I've been talking to the other guests that are coming in, and it seems like everybody had a great day today. And we had a permit landed by one of our guests from Denmark, who's a lovely guy, and he's pretty new at this, and so he's thrilled beyond compare. So anyway, we're almost done. We've had a really good trip. Tomorrow was a half day, and I just can't say enough about how much we love coming to Cuba.